He's a member of the 680 family and a damn good dog.
Hutson Mason, quick throw, touchdown!
It's Hutson Mason, presented by Engineered Solutions of Georgia.
And joining us now via the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line, it is Hutson Mason, former UGA quarterback here on The Fan.
What up, Hut?
What's up?
Hey, listen, I feel like we're going to talk to you about college football for sure and your dogs, but I feel like there's more passion with you around the Falcons, and maybe because it's because of the emotions they put you through. But talk about that game, what you saw yesterday with our guys.
I was already cranky getting up with the daylight savings time.
You got an extra hour of sleep. That was wrong with you.
A little cranky that we can't come to an agreement in this country that, we would want more daylight. I don't get that. And then my neighbor's already putting up their Christmas lights. So I was already a little cranky, and then I watched Zach Robinson's offense, and it made me even more cranky. I am passionate about. I'm a Falcons fan. I'm born and raised here, so I'm born. That's my team, and that's just my lot in life. And it's a hard Sunday watch, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't believe it's going anywhere under Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson. And I'm an offensive guy. Obviously, I like good offensive football. I think the defense has improved, and I think the defense is more than good enough to win you games right now. But the offense is just putrid, and I think I get most passionate about it because I genuinely believe that the Falcons are not going anywhere under Raheem Morris. And I don't like to root against my team, but I'm at that point where I feel like if I want to see something different long-term for the Atlanta Falcons, the only path there is to lose.
Yeah, it's interesting. You sent us about a minute 50 video breaking down what you've been watching with the Falcons and how disappointing and gut-wrenching and awful it is to watch. And to your point, there's a culture you build in the NFL, and coaches bring that to your team, and they buy in or they don't. And unfortunately, it feels like Raheem has not been able to build that winning culture here in Atlanta, and you don't think it's ever going to happen.
No, I don't. I think when you just watch the Falcons, a team that shows you week in, week after who they are and who they are not, maybe. The Atlanta Falcons are not a culture of the details. They're not a team, a culture that is maniacal about the little things. And it shows, Hutson, how do you know that? Well, I see it on the field. I see the same mistakes. I see the same dumb penalties. I see an offensive coordinator who tried to tell us that going to the sideline was going to be able to help the communication. And still, there's things that are so elementary that, like, at the NFL level, I'm just dumbfounded at how you can't get a play in after a penalty. Like, why do you struggle with these things that you shouldn't struggle with at the NFL level? And so, to me, I spent a lot of time yesterday just thinking kind of like about these coordinator hires that Raheem has made. And I thought back to other coaches that are either first-time head coaches or maybe they're a head coach for the first time in a long time. I know Raheem's been a head coach before, but it's been many moons. I just can't remember a coach making as two coordinator hires that Raheem made with Jimmy Lake and Zach Robinson that were unproven, unexperienced. For a guy who had not been a head coach in a long time and sat in that seat, I just can't believe, looking back at it, that he has made two coordinator hires that are extremely risky. And he already fired one of them, and the next one has been a flop as well. And so, whether you look at, like, when Sean McVay took the head job, he brought Wade Phillips with him, a very veteran DC. I'm trying to think of some of these other examples. Go look at new head coaches in the NFL. They typically don't hire brand new coordinators to go along with them.
Right.
And so it really blows my mind that even anybody in the NFL, in the Falcons organization, didn't push back against this, because Zach Robinson was with Pro Football Focus like 4 years ago. I just don't think he's ready to be an NFL offensive coordinator. So a lot of those topics get me hot and heated.
What are we to make of Michael Penix Jr.? Is he not like the others, his peers, when you're looking at Caleb Williams, Bo Nix? I'm on to 2026 because Zach Robinson is going to be out of here. We'll get a new offensive coordinator, maybe a new coach. Goodness. I don't know what to make about what's going on. What, from a quarterback's mind and eyes, are you seeing with the ups and downs with Michael Penix Jr.?
I just don't think this offense is putting him in a great position to maximize his talent. Do I think that he is the long-term answer of the Atlanta Falcons? My answer genuinely right now to that is I don't know. But what's tough to know is it more of an indictment of this offense and the system, or is it more him? And so I just think there's things in this offense where, I look at the passing game, for example. You've got here's the reality. You got a quarterback who's not super mobile, and he's got a good arm, and he can make a lot of the throws, but he's not mobile. And so what are some of the things that could help with a really good run game? Play action, move the pocket. Let's have more complimentary run stuff. All our throws, it feels like in the gun, are just quick one-step slants and hitches. And, I just don't think there's like a really good blend of keeping pass rushers off of their predictable spots. Like, you can pretty much point to where he's going to be. He's going to be about 8.5 yards deep in the pocket every single time. And the elite pass rushers in the NFL are too good. They know where you're going to be. They're going to get to you. So, I feel bad for him a little bit, but that's the reality of the NFL when you get drafted high, is sometimes you go to super dysfunctional situations and organizations, and the Atlanta Falcons are definitely one of them.
Well, one that's not is the organization up in Athens, Georgia, as the Dogs once again gut out a cocktail party win 24-20. Hutson, that game, there were so many different spots where I felt like Georgia just bowed up and made the plays that they need to. How do you feel this team continuously just fights back like the boogeyman and never wants to die? Is it just a Kirby thing?
Well, that's right. We just talked about the Falcons, right? And you're winning cultures find ways to win. Losing cultures find way to lose. So look, we're making a 180-degree pivot to a culture that finds way to win. And it's not always like they're as maybe talented as other Georgia teams that we've seen. But, man, I'm telling you, it's one of the most resilient teams I've seen in a long time. When Florida had that ball in the fourth quarter, driving late, and it was 3rd and 2, how many people, if you had made a bet and said, hey, Florida's got 2 downs to get a first down and maybe cut the head off the snake here, how many people would say, yeah, I think they'll get it with a mobile quarterback? I think they could get 2 yards and 2 downs.
Yep.
And, George, that is just so Georgia this year. Like, finding a way to get a stop in a situation like that is just what tells you everything you need to know about the team, the grit, the mental DNA. They're just so tough, man. And, I really give Florida some credit because, when Georgia punched them in the face, they responded. Opening touchdown, they came back and responded. Beginning of the second half, Florida responded. I've seen other teams where Georgia just starts to strangle them and they just quit. And so Florida made it competitive. We thought they would with the new head coach. But, man, Georgia just continues to be so impressive with not necessarily maybe how talented of a team they are, but how resilient, and I think they know who they are at this point.
Talking to former Georgia quarterback and our all-time locker room member, our guy Hutson Mason here in the locker room on the Fan 680 93.7 FM. To that point, what do you see from Gunnar Stockton? When he runs, it hurts you. When he throws, it hurts you. When he calls a check at the line on the most important play of the game and Chauncey Bowens runs into the end zone for a touchdown, that hurts you. What are you seeing from a quarterback that's doing it with his legs, his arms, and with his ability to change a play at the line?
Yeah, I think Gunnar's played some of his best football the last 2 weeks. Statistically, look, you're not going to ever look at the box score probably week in and week out. I know he had a big week before Florida, but it doesn't feel like this is going to be the type of offense that Georgia had last year where they're going to say, hey, quarterback, throw it 30 times a game, which is totally fine. He takes care of the football for the most part, and the players rally around him, and he's a good athlete. And so I think for this offense, man, the sweet spot is probably him throwing for about 200, 225, a touchdown or 2. He's taking care of the football, and he's making plays with his legs. And if the offense can start to really once he starts running, that's when this offense takes a second step. They become a different offense, and I think they become a more of a championship caliber offense to defend. And so they got a really good run game. They've got a pretty good passing game. They lack a little bit of explosiveness, but I think they can overcome that, especially with a mobile quarterback. And so I'm excited to see the back half of this season. I mean, at the beginning of the year, guys, I was kind of watching Georgia go the first 4 games of the year going, man, this offense is limited. I think there's a ceiling on this team. I'm not for sure if they're a national championship team. But I think my thought is kind of the last 2 weeks I've seen them play. I just think Kirby and Mike Bobo and the staff has said, hey, we know who they are. We're not going to ask them to do things that are outside of their DNA. And I think it's going to make for a really compelling race here at the end of the year and into the playoff.
Hutson, for the 4th Sunday in a row, we've had a major college football job come open. It was Penn State, then it was Florida, then LSU, and then over the weekend, Auburn. Hugh Freeze just 15-19 there. We were talking about Auburn earlier and said they might be the type of place that can take a chance on a up-and-coming group of 5 guy or a coordinator. What type of coach do you think Auburn needs to bring in to turn that program back around?
Well, I think they need to find somebody that has a track record of finding and developing quarterbacks, because that's really what Hugh Freeze didn't do, and I think that's what cost them. I think it can be as simple as that. You know, the LSU thing was like more layered.
Right.
Kelly found a quarterback. He had a Heisman quarterback. At Auburn, you can really point to 2 decisions that Hugh Freeze made in the portal with Peyton Thorne and Jackson Arnold, and it didn't work out. He recruited well, and so I think at this day and age, man, where we're paying quarterbacks and we're thinking, hey, is $2-3 million worth it? I mean, ask Hugh Freeze and Auburn if $2 or $3 million would be worth it for a top end quarterback. If they had one right now, he still might have his job. So I think it's got to be somebody, and it doesn't have to be a home run hire. I think we get caught up in, it's got to win the press conference.
Right.
And I think some of these guys are really good football coaches out there that have won at other programs. Kurt Cignetti, obviously he's staying at Indiana, but examples like that people have worked their way up. They've turned programs around. They know what winning looks like. I think that's the blueprint, but I think ADs feel so much pressure from boosters to win the press conference that they go out and make some of these hires that are just not great fits.
Are you going to cut your neighbors some slack? I mean, look, Halloween is a week, and then it's almost a month between Halloween and Thanksgiving, and then there's a month for Thanksgiving in between Christmas. Are you going to cut your neighbors some slack because they started with the Christmas decorations?
Well, he walked out yesterday, and I said, dude, we got 2 months till Christmas. Relax. It's going to be there. It's not going anywhere.
Just enjoy it, man. Just enjoy the joyfulness and the holiday spirit.
Yes.
Ours are up. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, that's why you're co-signing with his neighbor.
Yeah. Ours are up. We flicked them on, and it feels good to walk out there when I take the dog out at night and see him shining. So just relax. Enjoy the spirit of the holiday
It's too
season.
early, Hut. I'm with you. Wait another month.
You guys are both
no, you don't put up your Christmas lights until after Thanksgiving.
There's no rule when you're supposed to do it and not do it. There is not.
You Christmas light people are nuts.
Yeah, us Christians get it like I've told you before. I'll tell you when Christmas is over.
You're 2 heathens.
And I'll tell you when you can put up your Christmas lights, Hutson.
I didn't mean to provoke a religious argument this morning.
Well, always good stuff. Always love your opinions, and we always love when we talk to you on Mondays, and we look forward to talking to you next week, Hut.
All right, guys. See you.